It's so easy for us to play small. It's so easy for us to come to believe that life won't be any different from what it is. It's so easy to think that all we can ever do is live with the hand that we're dealt. It's so easy because a lie is easier to accept than the truth. Lies are comfortable. They tell us what we want to hear. They tell you what you already believe to be true. And they give you a reason to ignore life. Everything in life will happen exactly as it will happen. The question is whether you will be ready to see it and accept it and work within it, or will you be lost in making excuses for why things are what they are, suffering all the things that feel bad and overwhelming, and considering yourself a victim of life. You think of life as some sort of outward source, something that is happening around you and that you're a part of, and that's your first mistake. You are not separate from life. You are not some distinctly separate entity that exists, and that some organic force outside of you called life is moving around and engaging with you. You are life. You are the very consciousness realizing itself. You are what the entire universe is, the source of all creation, the living and manifested creator and observer of reality. And yet you live life like you're a walk-on character in existence, never realizing you're a one-person show playing all the roles so convincingly you've even fooled yourself. When you realize the truth, fully accept this reality, then you will realize the limitlessness of your potential, your ability to be anyone and anything that you want to be, your ability to transform and create anything you want of yourself. The only reason you don't realize this ability, the only reason you are not the creator of your life, is because you haven't yet discovered the truth of who you are. You are not you. The person that you think you are is a story that you tell yourself. It is based on nothing more than how you interpreted the experiences you've had in your life, the beliefs you've created, and the ideas about yourself. Throughout history, people have pursued enlightenment in many forms. Through a life of an aesthetic, living with nothing and begging for their food, through self-inquiry and meditation, by peering through the facade and stories of their existence, letting go of every belief and idea of who and what they are, and truly realizing who they are and who they've always been. There are those whose lives are changed with a single psychedelic experience, who realize in that instant that who they think they are and who they are truly are two different things. Most transformation in life comes from a person realizing that the narrative in their mind on who they are is just a fiction of the mind. You are not the beliefs that you have. You are not the stories that you tell yourself. You are not limited by what you feel is physically possible. Human beings have an immensity for transformation and change. All it takes is an awareness of the possibilities and a willingness to push past that sense of self that has defined your life. The problem for most people is that when you come up against that sense of self, it will feel like death to break beyond it, to find your true self. It isn't a pleasant experience most of the time. Meditators have been known to have jagged crying fits and depression as they tore down these walls. Psychedelic users have had that infamous bad trip, and people who suffer their way through it hit rock bottom and hit a point of such pain and loss that the mind has no choice but to strip away the narrative. But it's a narrative. It's a story. All the things that you think limit you, keep you from being who you truly are, is just the illusion that you bought into when you look into the mirror and say the word I. What most people mean when they say I am is the hallucination of a self. Just like the AI invents information and facts, our brains invent an identity, searching out and creating patterns from our existence to tell us who we are and what we are, when in truth, we are none of that. The hallucinating self, the fake you, the person you bring to the world and sow to the world, doesn't like to be uncomfortable, doesn't like to struggle, doesn't like to do anything different than it's already gotten used to. It will keep you stuck where you are, never growing and never moving forward. The more you associate with it, the more you define yourself by it, the less you'll be able to ever do anything different than what you're doing. It is only in seeing through the story and the fiction that your brain has created that you can begin to see the potential that has always been inside of you. To realize that you are not a character living a life being written by the universe, but that you are the universe creating a life to see and experience itself in all its forms. You can be the form that changes and leads others to change. You can be the form that becomes wealthy and does great things. You can be the form that enjoys great friendships and romances and love, or you can be the person that never fully realizes the entirety of themselves, who never sees what they can do beyond their own comfort, who never goes beyond what they've been capable of. Failure often keeps people from trying, because from a young age, we're taught that failure is bad. We're taught that you get one shot at something, and if you don't succeed, then there will be punishment and a bad grade. But that's not life. Life doesn't end with a failure. Failure is the necessary manure needed for things to grow. The problem with most school education, amongst the many problems, is that it was created to create line workers, factory workers, and office workers. So the teachers and the students stop realizing that you need a lot of manure to make things grow. And the moment they are faced with even a hint of manure, their face scrunches up and their nose twitch and they want to leave. And that's what most people do in life. The moment things get hard, the moment things get challenging, the moment they realize they're likely going to fail and fail and fail again, they get comfortable saying that just isn't for them. They get comfortable giving up and moving on to something that isn't so difficult. Because for them, failure is bad, and only failures fail. But in truth, life is like a video game, and for most people, you have ample opportunities to keep trying again and again. Maybe you get sent back a level or two. Maybe you lose some of your assets and gear along the way. But you can keep playing, keep learning, and keep growing inside the game. It's not always easy. It's not always clear-cut, but it is possible to achieve the goals and win in the end. You are not a slave to life. You are life in all its glory and in all its chaos. There is not some magic force that is controlling you. No laws of physics that are moving your atoms in a way that you can't control. You're not some brain in a vat. You are the very force of creation, the universe taking form. And thus there is nothing that is not possible for you. The true you. The you that exists behind the stories and ideas and beliefs about you. The you that exists beneath the fears of pain and discomfort that keep you from change. The you that knows that it is better to try for greatness and fail than it is to be miserable and never try. Hey, wait 1 second. I've got something big to share with you. Thanks for watching that video. If you made it this far, you hopefully enjoyed it. And if you enjoyed it, we put out one at least every other day. Hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notifications at the bottom of the video. And keep an eye out for the next video. Also, I'm building a community of people who want to transform their lives over a year. It's called the Cosmic Joke Challenge. If you want to find out what the Cosmic Joke Challenge is, you'll learn that and more in our 100% free Facebook group, which will be growing a library of content not available on YouTube. The link will be available in the description box below. Click it, join, and start transforming your life today.